Headlines presented by Calvo's Insurance, serving Guam for 80 years. Matson and the Adai Tano program. The all-new 2018 Kona by Hyundai, available at Cars Plus. IP&E, fueling excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, and King's Restaurant, located in Tamuning and Dededo. Always open, always local.
Coming right up on prime time, the Pope is speaking out about the accused local archbishop and the charges that he faces. Plus tonight, senators bid a grateful farewell to their colleague, their friend, and their speaker. And also, the dream of home ownership is now one step closer to reality as a new housing project was begun up north. Hafa and good evening, friends. I'm Jason Salas. Thanks so much for watching or streaming us tonight. Here are tonight's top stories. Well, Judgment Day could be soon as Pope Francis is speaking out about Guam's suspended Archbishop Anthony Aparon. Recently, he's been quoted saying he'll be handing Aparon's appeal of his canonical verdict himself. Crystal Paco has tonight's lead story.
Quote, the evidence is very clear, end quote. These words from Pope Francis regarding Guam's suspended Archbishop Anthony Aparon. Back in March, Aparon was found guilty of, quote, certain of the accusations, end quote. At the time, there were 5 clergy sexual abuse allegations against him, 4 from former agate altar boys, and 1 from his nephew, Mark Mofnis Aparon. Just recently, an additional victim with the fictitious name, DM, also came forward accusing the Archbishop and also filing suit. The Pope was explaining how the Vatican is handling bishops accused of mishandling abuse allegations. Rather than one dedicated tribunal, they're instituted on a case-by-case basis. That's exactly what happened here at home at the Archdiocese of Agana. The tribunal, as we reported, visited the island last year. The Pope over the weekend was quoted saying that Aparon appealing his verdict is a difficult case. Quote, I took it upon myself and made a commission of canonists that are helping me, and they told me that when I get back, after a maximum of a month, a recommendation will be made so I can make a judgment, end quote. Groups like the Concerned Catholics of Guam and the Lady Forward movement have, for years, urged the Vatican to take action on Aparon. CCOG President David Sablan hoping the Pope will affirm the tribunal's verdict, stating, quote, if the Pope abides his zero-tolerance policy with the credible accusations of child sex abuse against Aparon, the appeal of Aparon would be denied, and the guilty verdict of the tribunal, headed by Cardinal Raymond Burke, stands. Thus, Aparon's exile from Guam and the stripping of his title as Archbishop of Agana is permanent. It will be a time of justice for the people of Guam, and the healing begins, end quote. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Crystal Paco.
In other news tonight, the Guam Election Commission dealt with several complaints of electioneering, campaigning inside what are supposed to be voter safe zones on primary election day. Ultimately, candidates are held responsible for what their supporters do, but the GEC says it's not sure what penalties, if any, those who broke election law will be subject to. Chris Barnett has our next story.
Guam election law forbids any campaigning within 100 feet of a polling place. That didn't stop several overzealous supporters of candidates from breaking that law. As the Guam Election Commission today tells KUAM News, it received several electioneering complaints on primary election day.
We had to call Senator Joseph Augustin's camp. We had to call Senator Rodriguez's camp. We had to call Lou Youngro's camp.
The complaints stemmed from a truck with a Big St. Augustine sign parked near a polling site, Rodriguez Cruz supporters campaigning inside the fence line, and a car with a huge Lou and Josh sticker parked inside a polling site. These complaints addressed on Election Day. Electioneering laws meant to protect voters from intimidation, undue influence, and persuasion at polling sites. Pangilinan was not sure if there are penalties for violating electioneering laws, but she did say she would bring the matter before the GEC board. One school called the GEC to complain about election signs being posted up on school property and left behind. As you see here, signs from Democratic candidates Lacia Casil, Talina Nelson, and Jose Pito Terlahi greeted students at Liguan Elementary on Monday morning. GEC personnel had to remove the signs. And while this election has had its share of dirty campaigning, Pangilinan said polling sites were pretty trashy too.
We got calls from the schools, from at least a couple of the schools, that said trash was left behind. behind.
While the political parties and candidates were asked to clean up after themselves, GEC workers have been left holding the bag. The trash bag, that is.
So as we go to these schools and we see that, we go ahead and clean it up.
Pangilinan said a request for a recount made by the Ogden-Liptiaco team will be addressed by the GEC board at Thursday's meeting. But the GEC maintains a recount shouldn't be done until the deadline for off-island absentee ballots to come in passes. That deadline is September 10th.
If there's going to be a recount, the most efficient way will probably be after all the ballots are counted.
For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
Chris, thanks so much. Well, your governor, in other news, has transmitted summaries to the Speaker's office listing what the administration calls various technical errors, as well as recommendations to address those errors in the fiscal year 2019 budget bill. But could it be too little, too late? The budget bill lapsed into law last week, as you know, after the chief executive refused to act on the measure. Some of the issues brought up include temporary employment of retired Guam police officers, customs and quarantine officers, as well as the restriction of hiring of unclassified staffers. The Speaker previously offered counterpoints to the governor's claims of deficiencies whenever the bill lapsed into law. You can check out the list of concerns from the administration. We got it up for you right now on KUAM.com. Do check that out. Well, same government, different agency. As Port Authority of Guam GM Joanne Brown today briefed the agency about impacts the fiscal year 2019 budget bill may have on the port. At issue, Brown says, is language in the bill seeming to include autonomous agencies in a government-wide hiring and increment freeze. The problem, Brown says, is that the GovGuam-wide cash crunch is not affecting autonomous agencies.
It's something that they just simply threw in there and didn't consult or look at the impacts. I don't see where the cents, really, the dollars and cents is in this whole issue by impacting the autonomous agencies, which I think should have been exempted.
Funding.
Brown said the port will consult legal counsel on the matter, going on to say that following the hiring and increment freeze may jeopardize bond covenants, the port is obligated to follow.
And if we're not able to replace people as we need to, of course we anticipate next month we're going to end up with some retirements here, then that could impact our ability to move cargo at the end of the day, and we don't see the sense because we actually have the funds to address that.
Well, further north up the street over at the Guam Congress building in Hagåtña, lawmakers made quick work of this month's final regular legislative session. They met briefly Tuesday to vote on a few bills, but also to bid farewell to one of their most long-standing members. Nestor Lecanto has the details.
Senators cleared up a pair of sections of the new budget law. They clarified that the hiring freeze on unclassified employees does not apply to critical service personnel, such as teachers, nurses, doctors, and social workers. They also fixed another discrepancy pointed out by the governor, excluding employees of autonomous agencies who don't get money from the general fund, such as GPA, GWA, the port, and the airport, from the hiring ban. But they didn't act on a host of other concerns about the budget raised by the governor. Senators, meanwhile, passed Mary Torres's bill to establish a safe haven for mothers to give up their unwanted infants, and Michael Nicholas's measure that gives public safety personnel the option to join a union. But before ending session, Legislative Secretary Regine Bisco-Lee bid farewell to outgoing Speaker Benjamin Cruz.
There were a lot of different, very visionary and progressive ideas that you brought forward that were really before their time. Safe haven was one of them. Same-sex civil unions was another. Increasing the minimum wage. But there were also a number of measures that really spanned across the course of your career that's really dedicated towards protecting our children against violence and abuse. And so at this time, Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to rise and in this brief extension of remarks, just say that I believe that our community is better because you've been a part of it.
Cruz did not seek re-election as senator and ran instead for public auditor. He won in this weekend's special election, and as soon as the commission certifies results, he will immediately take over the post vacated by Doris Brooks, who is running for Congress. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Well, an event this morning caused some major traffic delays for some time up north, as at least one person was hurt in Tuesday morning's crash up in Gigot, and that person had to be rushed to the hospital. Now, though we are told they suffered non-life-threatening injuries, the three-car crash happened around 7:30 this morning along Marine Corps Drive and Juan Jacinto. One car was overturned as Gigot Mayor Rudy Matanani says the driver in that car reportedly fell asleep behind the wheel after dropping his kids off to school. The driver miraculously walked away unharmed, and the crash resulted in all lanes on Marine Corps Drive to be shut down for about a half hour. It was reopened right around 8. Well, we are just getting started. Please stay tuned because Primetime continues after this.
There are more ways to experience Guam via KUAM News, giving you what you want, when you want, and how you want it. From smart devices, Alexa, what's in the news?
Here's your flash briefing.
Over the web, on mobile, on streaming platforms, with immersive, interactive formats, and via social media where it's more than just content, it's conversation. More ways to keep you informed and entertained whenever you want it, wherever you are, on whatever device you're using.
A simple handshake. That's all Jake Calvo needed when he started his company. Today, 80 years later, we like to say thank you to all of you who have taken our hand in trust. Thank you to the dreamers. Thank you to the realists. Thank you to the family-oriented. Thank you to the entrepreneurial. Thank you to those climbing the corporate ladder. And to the ones starting a new life together. Thank you to the traditionalists and the edgy. To the young at heart and the old souls. Thank you to the daring, to the protective, to the practical. Thank you to the hopeful. To all of you from all of us, our deepest, happiest, and infinite thanks.
80 years here for you. 80 years thanks to you. Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust.
It's Cheesy Bites pizza season at Pizza Hut. Your favorite pull, dip, pop icon is back. The one and only Cheesy Bites pizza with 28 poppable, dippable, cheese-filled bites. But hurry, it won't last long because no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Summer is here, and at Cars Plus and Mighty, that means big savings during our summer clearance event. Right now, save up to $8,000 on select 2018 Ram 1500 SLT Crew Cab, or save $3,250 on a 2018 Chrysler Pacifica, voted Family Car of the Year. 1.99 APR financing is available for qualified buyers. Plus, buy today and receive a Cars Plus value card, where you get 21 cents off per gallon at all Shell stations. Don't miss our summer clearance event going on now at Cars Plus and Mighty. Cars Plus, driven by you.
Well, we could be seeing yet another few days of wet weather as the National Weather Service has issued a special weather statement for Guam and our friends up north in the NMI. Officials are keeping an eye out for Tropical Storm Jebai, located about 810 miles to the northeast of Guam. It's got maximum sustained winds of 40 miles per hour and is expected to intensify, possibly becoming a typhoon and approaching the far NMI later this week. So far, no watches or warnings are in place for our island. On its current track, the tropical storm is expected to pass near Agrihan, that is way north of Guam, early Friday. Heavy showers, strong gusty winds, and dangerous marine conditions are likely across the Marianas by late Thursday. Well, living the American dream is a saying when it comes to owning a home, with the demand growing, and so is construction, as a new subdivision was unveiled today up north. And as our Carmen Terlahi reports in this next story, many involved in the project are eager to provide home to families on Guam.
More than 100 new homes under construction. Officials turning the dirt, signifying the start of it all during a groundbreaking ceremony held on Tuesday. Centered between Gigot and Dadado along Woostig Road, the Sienna Gardens subdivision is in the works. The gated community developed by Guam 5-Star Corporation would include 3-bedroom and 4-bedroom units.
My father bought this land actually quite a long time ago. We didn't just buy this project just before we started it. He had this property for, I I guess about about 20 years.
President Heather Park says the cost to transform the 28 acres into a peaceful housing community will be roughly $30 million. Park adds she is confident the houses will be sold to locals and military families alike.
The data in Gigot is like most preferred like residential area in Guam as well, and it's very close by to the Anderson Air Base, and then also they're going to have a marine not far from here. So we are also targeting like military personnel to either buy or rent this property. With this setting and the location, I think people will love to live here.
A love that the village leaders in the north are all too familiar with. Tetedo Mayor Melissa Savares adding that these homes are near local schools, though she and Gigot Mayor Rudy Matsanani are weary of the already high traffic up north. She says time management would be key for tenants. And with the help of Base Corporation, the project is expected to be complete in 2 to 3 years. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Carmen Victoria Turlaki.
Thanks, Carm. More Guam soldiers are getting set for deployment to global hotspots in Southwest Asia. Family and friends were on hand for a send-off ceremony Tuesday at Adelup for members of the Guam Air National Guard's 254th Security Forces Squadron and Comptroller Flight. The 21 troops in all will be assigned to Operation Freedom Sentinel in support of the war in Afghanistan, as well as Operation Inherent Resolve, the mission to defeat ISIS in Iraq and Syria. In what may be his last such event, outgoing Governor Eddie Cavo bade them a safe trip.
There's not much things that get me emotional, but every day I've served as governor, when I've ever thought I'm maybe a little too tired, maybe the job is just a little too heavy for me, I thought about you. And I thought about all the deployments and folks I've seen go out and come back. And some of them, unfortunately, have not come back alive. And it inspired me to work even harder.
Nearly 24 airmen are scheduled to leave over the coming weeks and will be deployed for about 6 months. And also tonight, getting the algae problem out of our beaches and our beaches under control. More than 400 people volunteered this past weekend, helping to remove the invasive species of macroalgae blooming along Tumon Bay. Officials say the problem has grown over the past 2 months and it's spread within 100 feet of the reef. GVB and the Department of Agriculture led the cleanup event, and they were able to collect nearly 2,000 pounds of the material. There's also been interest from local farmers to use it to enrich their soil as biofertilizer. It's the group's second cleanup down in Tumon, and another is planned in the coming weeks down at Cocos Island. Great job by everybody who came out. All right, we got sports coming up, but first, your island weather.
How easy is it to earn reward points using the Alpha Plus app? Here, let me show you. Simply register with the all-new Alpha Plus app and earn reward points while making purchases at your favorite stores you already shop at. Just present the app to any authorized representative to earn your points. Now that was easy. Alpha Plus, make every day a plus.
Half a day, hungry drivers. Are you spending more time on the road? Shell has teamed up with Wendy's so you can buy fuel and eat free. Just fuel up 7 gallons at any Shell station and get a coupon for a Wendy's cheeseburger or chicken nuggets. Or use 2 coupons to redeem a Wendy's cheeseburger meal with fries and a drink. Fuel up at Shell today because this deal won't last long. Quality service, fuel and food from Shell and Wendy's.
Where can you find a burger inspired by flavors from near and far that mixes the smoky with the sass of the South? Combines the sweetness of summer with the tang of the country for savory, sizzling, unexpected flavors. Well, you can find it at McDonald's. The new Bacon Smokehouse Burger. It's the newest flavor of the signature crafted recipes by McDonald's.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports, brought to you by Triple J. Have some information on a fundraising golf tournament taking place this Friday at the Onward Talofofo Golf Club. I'll get to that in just a bit. But first off, Women's Championship Futsal from the Guam Sports Complex. Check it out. Guam Shipyard won this year's Bud Light Women's Futsal League title 4-2 over Quality Distributors. Shipyard outscored Quality 3-1 in the second half to come away with the trophy. The game was tied at 1 apiece after both teams successfully kicked through penalty shots to end the first half. Quality's keeper was called for stepping over the line after making a save on the ball, awarding Cheyenne Roberto the free kick. Roberto hit the shot high into the left corner of the post for the goal. Olivia Elliott scored twice after the halftime break. Teammate Arissa Rosella closed out the scoring for Shipyard. Alicia Barcinas and Alana Garcia put through these scores for Quality in the loss. Quality's Paige Serber won the Golden Boot Award, scoring 23 goals in 7 games. Cheyenne Roberto finished second with 19 goals. India Shepherd won the Golden Glove Award, edging out Guam Shipyard's Iana Mariano. The second annual Archbishop Burns Golf Fundraiser Tournament is scheduled for this Friday at the Onward Talofofo Golf Club. Registration is $125 per player, and the format is two-person scramble select shot modified Callaway. Entry fee includes play fee, beverages, and snack on course, ditty bag, and banquet.
Last year we were trying to figure out an activity for fundraising for the Archdiocese, and so one of the things I knew is that the Archbishop was a golfer, so we said, hey, why don't we celebrate your birthday last year with sponsoring a golf tournament with the proceeds to go to support the Archdiocese. And so we did that, and knowing that the Archbishop is quite the athletic himself and does go out on the golf course, it was just a perfect fit for us to have a golf tournament in honor of his birthday.
Showtime is at 11 in the morning with shotgun time scheduled for 12:30. Registration forms are available at the front desk of the Chancery office on San Ramon Hill. For more info, call Frank Ariola at 777-1989 or email frankariola@gmail.com.
The course was designed, to really enhance the local surroundings. So they didn't put in they didn't manufacture and bring a lot of, ornamental trees and stuff. So, you can see the valleys, you can see Fennel Lake from certain views. It's just beautiful, man. Kids, junior golfers are encouraged to come. Husband and wife teams, and if you don't play golf, you're more than welcome to sponsor a team.
Turning over to some bowling news, Manny Tagle took the Guam Senior Bowlers Association August tournament title against Mary Pangilinan, 228-202 and 270-181 in a 1-2 victories championship format. Tagle is getting ready to represent Guam at the 15th Asia Senior Bowlers Championship set for December in Okinawa, and used the match as a tune-up for competition. For more info about the Guam Senior Bowlers Association, contact Chairperson Rick Torres at 687-4291. Well, that's going to do it for sports. We're back right after this.
We're celebrating our 135th anniversary today, both in the outlying regions on which we hub and also here in Guam itself. It means so much to our team here in Guam. It means a lot to us in the Matson management team, because what it says is we're here to stay. It's a real physical manifestation of our commitment to this region. It's so important that we hire locally, we develop talent locally, we train locally. What's been a wonderful addition to our approach there is that many of the people who started off in Guam have gone off into significant leadership roles elsewhere in the company.
This is our headquarters here in Guam in Micronesia. And when we talk about putting down our roots, it's not just doing business, it's about everything we do with our friends, our customers, and our employees. I believe that nobody can replicate what we do, and that's why we have such a great team and such a great service and why we're successful. This is our home, this is our life, and we're happy to make a difference in everyone else's life.
It's Cheesy Bites pizza season at Pizza Hut. Your favorite pull, dip, pop icon is back. The one and only Cheesy Bites pizza with 28 poppable, dippable, cheese-filled bites. But hurry, it won't last long because no one out-pizzas the Hut.
attention drivers, we have a shipload of vehicles on the way and need to make room. Buy now during Triple J shipload sale. Take advantage of our best pricing on all Hondas, Acuras, Fords, Mazdas, Lincolns, Volvos, Kias, and used cars. New cars as low as $137 per paycheck and used cars as low as $86 per paycheck during Triple J shipload sale. See PDN and post-print ads for details or visit us online at triplejguam.com and get pre-approved instantly. Trade-ins welcome. Some conditions apply. Triple J Auto Group. Customers first.
All right, everybody, on your mark, get set. Here are tonight's birthday shoutouts. All right, let's say happy birthday to the following new members of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club, led off by John Roy Ongakta. Happy birthday, John Roy, from your loving family. Happy birthday tonight going to Delora Marie Lingao Cruz Leon Guerrero, celebrating 29 years of holiday services, coming from your friends and family in California, Paulino style. Happy birthday from Mama Dora, Uncle Merv, Grandma and Grandpa Bernie, Bert, and the rest of the family. Love you and have fun on your special day. You too can be part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. Absolutely free and absolutely awesome. Just go to KUAM.com and register. All you got to do is tune in. And all you have to do is stay put because KUAM is up next with Health, Home, and Lifestyle.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E. Health, Home, and Lifestyle. Presented by Paradise Fitness Center, changing lives since 1996.
Welcome to News Extra. I'm Carmen Victoria Chirlaki, and tonight we'll meet a pup and get all of the details on this weekend's Bark for Life. And we'll hear from Jason Solis and Remax in House to Home. But first, here's Nurse Jen with Health Check.
Health Check with Nurse Jen is presented by Island Cancer Center.
Hoffaday, I'm Nurse Jen. Would your mouth be better off if you cleaned it with an electric toothbrush opposed to manually brushing it yourself? You know, old school style. Each in its own regards has its own benefits. Electric toothbrush bristles vibrate or rotate to help you remove plaque buildup from your teeth, gums, and oral cavity. The vibration allows for more intense micro movements every time you move the electric toothbrush up and down or side to side. At least one research study results found that people diagnosed with carpal tunnel syndrome, arthritis, and some developmental muscular or skeletal disability will have enhanced benefits from an electric toothbrush. People diagnosed with these disorders are given a more focused brushing event with an electric toothbrush, hence overall improving their oral cleaning experience. Another interesting study involving school-age students showed that not surprisingly, not all kids are interested in brushing their teeth. However, when the same kid was presented with an electric toothbrush, they engaged and accomplished better oral cleaning habits because the electric toothbrush felt like they were playing a game. Sounds like something mom and dad may want to consider. Electric toothbrushes are available to the consumer with two options. There's a disposable battery costing between $5 and $15, or the plug-in option with replaceable brush heads costing roughly about $100 to $200. Interestingly, the American Dental Association, ADA, cites that both electric and manual toothbrushes are effective at removing oral plaque to prevent tooth decay and gum disease. However, Consumer Reports conducted an analysis of 56 studies published in 2014 by the International Evidence-Based Research Organization, Cochrane, and found that electric toothbrushes may have a slight advantage because they come equipped with an automatic 2-minute timer. Whichever option you choose, manual or electric, it's important that you and your child brush teeth, tongue, and gums thoroughly for 2 minutes twice a day, every day. I'm Nurse Jen reminding you, don't wreck yourself, health check yourself. See you next week, same place, same channel.
Health Check with Nurse Jen is presented by Island Cancer Center.
There's still so much more to come on Extra. Keep it here.